consider consideration, interpret interpretation. Someone to follow, someone to look to, someone to hold you.
Goedemiddag allemaal. Zoals jullie kunnen zien is aanvoerder Jordan Henderson aangeschoven en onze coach Francesco Farioli om vooruit te blikken op de wedstrijd van morgen. Dat zullen zij in het Engels doen en vanuit de tolkenbooth wordt dat in het Turks vertaald voor de mensen die dat op hun oortje doen. En ik kijk even waar we gaan beginnen. ESPN, jij, Christian? Ja, ga je gang.
Jordan, good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi. The coach said after the Go Ahead Eagles game, this was the worst game of Ajax during my tenure here as a head coach. How was the evaluation? Was it like normal?
Yeah, I think it's just, we always analyse the games after. You know, look at the things that were done well, that we didn't do so well. And of course, like any game, there's always things that we could do much better. Yeah, maybe the feeling at the time was different to when you really analyse the game. But still, I think we'll look back. We can certainly improve on big areas within the last game, and hopefully tomorrow night we can do that and put things right and make it better and make sure the performance level is a lot higher.
The feeling was different than immediately after the game. Worse or better?
I think in the game and after the game, it's always a lot worse, you know. And I think when you analyse the game, I think with small details that we could have done a little bit better, then the game could have been a lot different. So, yeah, in my experience, you know, when things are going really well and you're winning games, it's about not getting too high, but also the same when you're not maybe playing so well and you get difficult results. It's about not getting too low and looking at the things you can do to improve quickly. So I don't think there's any reason to get too down. You know, we managed to come away with a point, but of course would have liked to have played a lot better. And tomorrow is another opportunity that you get, that you can put things right and make sure the performance level's better than what it was.
If you win the battle in midfield, often you win the game. You know that as no other person. And it's a cliche, I know, but I guess it's true. Beşiktaş, I think, have a very strong midfield.
Yeah.
What particularly should Ajax do better to win the battle in midfield tomorrow?
I think we touched on it in the last game, and second balls, duels being there every time is a big thing, especially when you're in a midfield battle. But of course, it's a team game. You look at all areas of the pitch, which, you know, you look at Beşiktaş, who have got good players, strong players, and are doing quite well in the league also, so they're in a good moment. So it's a really difficult test, a difficult game, but a big opportunity for us as a team and as players to go out there and play against a very good side, to show our quality and to try and cause them problems as well.
Mr. Farioli, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Partly the same question, really. Do you think you need to perform better with your team, and will that give a good outcome, or do you maybe have to do things differently than in the last game?
No, for sure about doing things better, I always, but you know that this one is a quite common sentence that came out from my mouth all the time, also after good results, because there are always improvement areas or things that we want to do better. As Jordan said, when we review the game and we reanalyze, of course the feeling and the frustration was there straight away after, because all of us, we went there with the best desire and best intention to do our game and to came home with 3 points. But as I repeat many times, it's not just the logo that is winning, or the name or the history of the club that is winning the game. We had to give also a bit of credit to what the opponent did and the effort that they put on the pitch. And after in our cold review and analysis that we had the day after, it was quite clear that things didn't really went in the way that we want, just because we miss a few details that at the end affect the big picture. So this is the part that where we need to put the attention, and sometimes the most difficult part is to do well the same things through the time and repeating and repeating and repeating.
Yeah, because one could also think maybe we have to have a little bit of a different plan. For instance, you have 3 good strikers. One could contemplate starting perhaps 2 instead of one of the central strikers. I've heard that you have trained in different systems already. How far is Ajax from being able being ready to start in a different.
So we are always there. The news arrive always faster than what the pitch, that what we show in the pitch, and this is really interesting. It's normal. I said also that we wanted to, to evaluate possibilities, and we are still there, and because it's normal. It's the new demands that we have. After, as you can imagine, there are, let's say, possibilities, game plan, and after also what the reality day by day is bringing you as a situation and scenario. Imagine last week, for example, we in the press conference I said that we were going to start with Brobbey. We finished in the last ball of the training, he got injured, and all the plan A, B, C, and D in one moment went away because of one situation. So at the end, the most difficult part is to find like a path that give us stability, balance, and as I said, of course, there is possibility to change things or to add a different solution. But most of the time, honestly, the most difficult part and the biggest challenge is to do well the things that we are used to do.
Do you want to disclose anything about which striker or strikers are going to play
No,
tomorrow?
with the bad experience of last time, I will, just for scaramantic reason, not because I don't want to give you tips, no, but I will keep it. 2 times I said Kaplan to play 90 minutes and he didn't play, and I say Brobbey, so I just shut up. Sorry, I think you will understand this
But
part.
all 3 are fit?
Sorry?
Or all 3 are fit, not injured?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Gaan we door met NOS, Jeroen. Ga je gang.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
When did you analyze the game of Go Ahead Eagles? Because was it on Sunday or was it on Saturday?
So as I usually do after on the bus on the way back, I review the first time the match. After I don't sleep that much in the night after, so I have time to watch it the second time at home. But the analysis was made the day after in the morning.
With the team was on Sunday because there was an interview with Ranch, and there was some misunderstanding that.
I think so because we went home and we had the analysis before the training of Monday morning.
Yeah. There is a lot of talks about the match of Saturday against Go Ahead Eagles. The match before that against Fortuna was an easy win. How do you raise the level of Ajax on a bad night? How do you make sure that you don't have matches like Saturday?
No, but this is what Jordan said at the end, and is also something that really needs to keep us a bit of far away from the reality somehow. Of course, we want to win all the matches, and the desire and also the responsibility of wearing this jersey is to win every match. But after, we need to get a bit far away from the emotion, from the positive one and from the negative one. And let me say, most of the time from the positive one, because at the end, when we get too excited, sometimes we relax and this is the most dangerous part in football and in life in general. So it's always to be constant, stable in our evaluation, and to be critical as we are with ourselves, and from there to go. So after Fortuna match, when we were here, I said this is not solving all of our problems, not to forget from where we are coming from and where we want to go. After Go Ahead, of course, the feeling it was a bit bitter than the few days before, but we are in the same circumstances. So we want to go. We know where we want to go, how we want to go. There are days where we are up and days where we are down, and when we are down, we need to be good enough, to have a reaction during the match. And I think we had, because when we went 1-0 down, somehow it was after our best moment. We got the draw and we had 3 chances to win the game.
Isn't the secret of a good team, a successful team, to have the bad nights not so bad?
Exactly, and also sometimes to win even when the game is not exactly in the way that you want. After we can take some, many examples from different countries and different league. Inter, that is usually one team that is absolutely dominant, especially in the last two, 3 years. They played an amazing game against Manchester City, and they lost the derby while everybody thought that Milan was over. So sometimes, there are emotions or how to say level of awareness that at some point drop a little bit. You find the others in their best day, and this one create how to say problem enough not to manage to win the game. So it's football. We know that the journey is made by good and bad days.
Okay. Jordan, you were smiling when Chris asked the question about the strikers.
Yeah, it's just it's like a big thing here about the strikers. every press conference, every interview, it's about the strikers. So yeah, just I find it quite funny. That's all.
Yeah, it is a big thing, but not for you, apparently.
Not really. You know, if it's about for me, always about the team, not individuals.
They are three different types of strikers. What adds one to the team and what adds the other one to the team?
I think they've all, like you said, they've all got different qualities. All very good strikers. Yeah, and all can score goals. All work hard for the team. Yeah, so it's about showing and training who wants to play, who's ready to play, but also who's fresh. You know, because we've got that many games that I think we'll play from now until the December, maybe every 3 or 4 days. Yeah, you're going to get injuries. You're going to get one striker might play, or one player might play midweek, and then somebody needs to be ready for the weekend because the fresh and the fit and the turnaround's too quick. So yeah, we need everyone. You know, it's not we talk about the strikers, but we need absolutely everyone from now. Yeah, for the rest of the season. But I think the window's from now until the winter break or December to give absolutely everything for each other, and then reassess then.
Okay, final question. With all your experience, how do you raise the level on a bad night? How do you make sure you never go through, the undergrens, under limit?
When things aren't going well, I think it's just trying to stay focused, trying to stay in the game plan and what we're trying to do and trying to achieve, whether that is in when we're pressing high in the pitch, or when we're in low block, or when we're building up, when we have the ball, the areas that we've worked on that we need to keep trying to get into, whether it's a weakness from the opponent that we've seen and the analyse, or just a feeling within the game that we can see something that we need to get the ball there to him, a free man, whatever it may be, is just to try to stay focused within the game, not think about, well, we're 1-0 down or we could lose. You need to stay in the moment, stay in the game. And when you go 1-0 down, reset. It's about trying to find the next goal to get back in the game as quickly as possible. And to be honest, I felt as though we did that quite well when we went 1-0 down, reacted well, tried to find the right moment in the final third to then score, which we did. And then, like the gaffer said, we had 1 or 2 moments after that, which, on another night you could find yourself with a winner and go home with the 3 points. But unfortunately for us, that wasn't the case. But like I said, the draw was probably the best case scenario in the end, and we'll take it and move on.
Thank you.
Ja, gaan we hier naartoe, Floris?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Trainer, the format of the Europa League has completely been renewed. It's now a competition phase with 36 teams instead of a group phase. What do you think of the new format?
I think all of us in this room, we are discovering what is going to be. I saw some prediction from some TV channel, from some articles, etc. It's really difficult to make calculation because it's really new for everybody. So, and especially for the way that we are and the way that we want to be, the focus is always in the next one. So we need to approach really, especially now, every game like a final, and to try to get the best out of each match.
Yeah, it does mean more matches in an already full schedule. How do you see that?
This one is again is how it is, so for sure is a good opportunity for the players, for all the squad to have minutes to play in high level, in very good level of matches, and in the other side it's a lot of work that needs to be done, and the capacity to stay in the present, as Jordan said, not keep too much feelings from good or bad from the previous match.
Yeah. And you, Jordan, what do you think of the new format of the Europa League? Do you think that the tournament becomes more exciting this way?
Maybe, to be honest, I think when something's new and something changes, you know, you never quite know. You're not sure. Like Champions League, Europa League, that the format's always been the same. It's always been nice, and I'm a little bit like, I like the traditional stuff. But at the same time, you know, sometimes change can be good, and I suppose we'll not know until maybe a few years down the line when we're really into it, and if it's better or worse or more exciting, whatever. So I think it's a matter of time before we know that. Obviously, like you said before, the issue is more matches, which I know has been a big topic across Europe, really, especially for, I would say, for international players, you know, players who play Europe, you know, the league, cups, international games, like, it's crazy, really, when you think about it. And I think something will have to come to a head at some point, because it gets too much, you know, injuries for players, the welfare of players. And I know a lot of players have spoke about this already, but yeah, it's something that needs looking at properly. Like I said, especially for them international players, because they just don't get any break at all for the whole season. And then even when it's the end of the season, they have Nations League games, or they have a tournament. They have two weeks off maximum, and then they have to do it all again. You know, it's crazy. So I think that really needs looking at, and I'm sure, you know, the welfare of the players at some point will have to come forward and first in everybody's mind.
English, Dutch, Turkish?
I am from another agency in Turkey. My question for Francesco Farioli. You know Beşiktaş very well because you worked in Turkey for approximately 2 years. Do you see this is an advantage for you?
The team is different, new coach, many new players. Of course, what stays is the club, like in terms of what they are expecting is a team that used to compete always for titles, to win. Is a big club, big history. After many things are different, many new players. So this one, again, I don't know if it's an advantage, it's just a fact. And we know that for sure tomorrow they will come here to compete at the highest level. And of course we need to be ready for this one, and especially to really, you know, make ourselves ready for a tough game in front of our supporters, and to give them what they want.
Yes. Johan, gaan we daar hier 5.
Hi guys. About the defense, especially for Jordan. Last year you built the best defense in France, Francesco. Do you think you're on the right track for doing the same with Ajax in Holland now?
The question was for me or for
for you.
Okay. So I think it's something that when we spoke before about like stability, of course is something that also is related with this one, not to concede that much. If you check our last matches and also the last one with the draw, and let's watch the game where we didn't manage to get the 3 points. In all the matches we concede very few, and this one I think is something that we have to keep. Of course, in the last matches we concede some extra counter-attack or some situation of open field that somehow by also individual qualities we manage to solve it. So it's something that needs to be in our mind, the desire not to concede goal and to have stability with the ball and without the ball. So this one is something that we are really putting an effort since the beginning, and we are working on that.
Where do you see the most space for improvement?
Many in all the areas with the ball, in some moments off the ball. At the end, for me, is I repeat myself, in the accuracy in the small details and the capacity to repeat every 3 days, you know, the same things every day better.
Okay, and is this match against Beşiktaş with Ciro Immobile, Rafa Silva, will this be the biggest challenge so far for your defense, and why is it the biggest challenge?
I don't know if it's the biggest, because we face already some very good opponents. Of course, the match of tomorrow, we are going to play against one player that was the top scorer in Serie A, Rafa Silva. We can mention also Gedson Fernandez, that for me is a fantastic player, Al Musrati in the middle. So it's a team that they have like a lot of individual individual tools to be dangerous. Players coming from the bench, so it's just one extra match in our journey, and of course the level of competence on the pitch is going to be really high.
Jordan, do you see a lot of difference between last year when it comes to defending, and where do you see the difference?
Yeah, I do actually. I think there's a lot of difference with and without the ball since I first arrived here. I think you can see, the amount of work that we've put in, especially in pre-season and then in the start of the season and certain areas of the game. But as the gaffer said, still a long way to get to where we want to get to, and a lot of room for improvement, which we just keep working every day to try to get better, both with and without the ball. But for sure, I've seen big improvements in defending, since I've came here, but also with the ball as well.
Last question for the coach is, who will you miss?
So for tomorrow, we are, let's say, from the players that were already out in the last matches, we have also Anton Guy that is out due to one ankle sprain, so he's going to be out for a few days. And I think 90% we are going to recover Yuri Bas. And after the list is going to be exactly the same. Of course, we are not going to have Davy due to the fact that he's not registered for European matches, and the rest is going to be the team that was there last week.
Can Yuri play? Yuri.
We are today after the match, after the training, we will evaluate.
Job, ja, nog een paar vragen en dan Lentin en dan gaan we stoppen, denk ik. Oh, Sammy, 3.
Hello, good day. Mr. Farioli, I saw some numbers of the game against Go Ahead Eagles, and also some numbers of actually all the previous games. Okay. You had the lowest number of shots and the lowest number of contacts in the
box.
Yeah, in the box. What does that say to you?
The game was different from the other one. After the match, and somehow was the justification of my comment about the fact that the feeling was not the one that we wanted, because we had less control of the game. So somehow the game was much more vertical. And if you speak about numbers, for sure you find out also the fact that we had many forward passes, and sometimes to have a higher number of forward passes doesn't mean that the game is the way that we want. So the game was a bit more vertical, a bit more transitional from both sides, mainly for how Go Ahead decided to come to press us, and from in our side, let's say, the responsibility that most of the time the solution was open, but we were, let's say, a bit late in all the decision making, not very clean in some contact, control or pass, and this one generated one game that was dirty. I think is the proper definition, and this one didn't allow us to play in the opposite half as we played, let's say, the majority of our matches. Of course, to have less touches into the box, and of course to have less shots on target.
The process of analyzing a game is quite a complex process, I think, because you have information on what you see live on the pitch. Then you can watch reviews. You have numbers. You just said that you start watching the game back in the bus driving home already. Could you give a little insight in the process of how to analyze a game?
Yeah, so there are different steps. So of course there is like the review from like the video. That this one is how to say, a personal analysis that I do, and also my assistant, they are used to do individually. As I said, I like to watch it straight away after, because I think it's something that I really need to do it, usually once, but sometimes also 2 or 3 times if it's needed, and in the day after is to put like a bit all together, all the information, all the feeling that all of us as a technical staff we have, and after, of course, we have like a big support in terms of data parameters. Of course, there are some numbers that for us are a bit more let's say important. For example, one data that is really interesting for us is the number of passes, like the total number. That looks like a very stupid number, but in the way that we consider the game, we have like one reference that somehow all the time that we achieve more or less this number lead us to a game that we are going to see the game that we want to see, and when we don't go nowhere close, it means that the game is a bit different. So there are several parameters. Of course, this one is the easiest one, and after, of course, there are all the new metrics, like for example the field tilt. It means how many passes you are able to play in the opposite half. So there are many parameters that are interesting. The entrance in the opposite box, as you said, is another one. So as always, there are like the objective data, the video that as well is quite objective, and also the feeling. And putting all the things together at the end is to arrive, to put the number in context and the images in context, and to try to get out with one reflection. And after, the most important part is also like to share this one with the player, and also to get the feeling of the player.
Do you use data to check your opinion, or do you also use data in order to improve your theory?
Both ways. So at the end is not is to evaluate data to get maybe some extra alert where we didn't put the attention, but as well also sometimes is to to try to find as I said, numbers that helps you to analyze the game. So
one last question, if I'm allowed. What surprised me is that you complained a little bit about the duels that you lost, that you thought you lost more duels, but it seemed the data I saw, you won the highest number of duels in the previous 10 games.
Yeah, maybe this could be like, maybe we went in too many duels that what we are used to, and this may be like the part of the dirtiness. And after again, in this part, in the duels, it could be like the first contact to be winner, but to be loser in the second one. So that's why numbers tell us something, but after there is the reality and, how to say, a bit deeper analysis about what you are going to do with the first clash is what you are going to do with the second ball, and especially if you can avoid to be in the clash or in the duel, just being in a better position some second before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sami.
Hello, Francesco. Should Ajax be afraid of Beşiktaş tomorrow?
No, I think afraid is not the right word. I think to be respectful, as we always want to be with against all the opponent.
And why you don't be afraid? Because it's a really big club, good team.
As I said, is not to be afraid, because if you have fears, somehow you block yourself. If you have respect, I think is the good level of alert that prepare you to have the right level of adrenaline to compete.
Thank you. Last question. Do you feel pressure for tomorrow?
Again, to me?
Yeah.
There is always pressure.
And how do you feel it? What's the kind of feeling you get?
Is the activation, as I say, is the adrenaline and the desire to play.
It's also a nice feeling, right?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laatste vragen zijn voor jou, Lentin, en dan gaan we richting de toekomst. Komt de microfoon aan.
For the gaffer.
It's very British.
Giovanni van Bronckhorst has had a great start at Beşiktaş. How would you describe his work since coming in?
Yeah, great. They are doing a good job in the league. They won the Super Cup 5-0 against the big rivals of Galatasaray. So for sure, we need just to share the congratulations for the impact and the work that they are doing. He changed quite a lot also in the way of playing. He brought his idea and his DNA to the club. So I think again, it's not up to me to evaluate, but for sure the results and what he's doing is absolutely positive.
Have you watched back some games of him also from the past? For example, his tenure at Feyenoord?
Yeah, no. We put the focus in these matches. We had enough material to analyze and to see the league game. Of course, also the qualification against Lugano, plus of course some friendly matches. So let's say the number of games was enough to have one idea about what we are going to face tomorrow.
We talked quite a lot about the left winger position. We talked about Mika God, who is maybe the only natural left winger in your squad. Can you talk a little bit about his development, how he's improving on that position?
Yeah, Mika is a player that, of course, he had already some exposure last season in the team. The level of responsibility it was already different at the beginning of the season. The plan for him it was already to have to take a step forward in his process, and I think he's doing quite well. Of course, the events of the market put some extra responsibility on his shoulders, but I think from this part Mika is a player that somehow has character enough to manage this type of situation, and I think so far his impact has been quite positive. In the other side, of course, there are areas and things that we want to help him to get better. He's aware of this one, so he is in a process like all of us to get better and to improve.
Yeah, you don't have to teach him how to dribble. Can you name something you're working on with him?
No, it's the awareness and the continuity in the game, especially like the capacity to be in the right spot in the right moment. Maybe some extra runs into the depth. That this one also can allow him to have a better condition when he receives the ball on the feet. So it's a bit like the game understanding, but also this one came through the experience and to play important matches like the one of tomorrow night.
Jordan, Mika mentioned that you're one of the more experienced players who sometimes helps him also with his development. Can you name something that you're talking about with him?
I try and help. Yeah, I try and help as much as possible. Sometimes they don't like it because I shout too much, but I try and help as much as I can on the field, off the field, but also give them the freedom to feel good and confident and their ability to go out and perform to the best of the ability, really. I think it's getting that balance right, of letting them be free and feel confident, but also try and help with one or two things which I feel Mika in this instance, but a few other players can improve on. And I think a lot of that goes down to the manager and the coaching staff who work with all the players on what we can improve on. Even for me, I'm a senior player, shall we say, but I'm still learning every day. I'm still learning a different role and how the manager and the coaching staff want us to play in this team, in the role that I'm playing. So I'm learning, everybody's learning, and we're all trying to improve and give everything we can for Ajax to be successful in the future. And we've got to try and enjoy the process and the journey as well.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bedankt allemaal voor jullie aanwezigheid vanaf 4 uur of iets voor 4 uur. Van harte welkom bij